following his twin and also getting some TLC with the Tuneup Treatment. It is a small Beetle Boi of the Stag Beetle family, KWG07 Kuwagata Baizan, REGRADED, with the kit of sword, double beam sword, biped legs, and the leg ability of Through Fight, which gives a chance for melee skills to ignore defense when attacking. Now, following his twin, as mentioned, he will be definitely benefiting a lot from the Tuneup Treatment, but even then before, Kuwagata Baizan was probably the more versatile and viable of the two boys when they got their modernizations post their debuts in Medarot S, after a very, very long hiatus from their original debut in Medarot 4. That being said, Sword is a conventional melee skill that no one can really ever go wrong with using for very basic, conventional, and versatile melee damage that you can use pretty much anywhere. Beam Sword on both arms are optic attribute attacks that get a ×2 damage bonus at 30% charge and a ×3 bonus at 100% charge. This means that when it comes to laying on the pain, Kuwagata Baizan absolutely is capable of cutting down anyone in his way, despite his rather diminutive size, even if that means that he requires a Metaforce charge in order to do that first. Biped legs also means that he will have relatively solid coverage on all terrains, and the leg ability of Through Fight, much like his twin Benimaru who has Through Shot, honestly complements his skills very well, as this means he has up to a 50% chance for his skills to not only ignore defense when attacking, meaning they'll be just a little bit more painful than before, but if there is a shield in play, there's a very good chance that he will bypass or slip right by it and attack who he wants completely unhindered, making him again arguably one of the more versatile and well-rounded of the two boys in terms of what they can use at first glance and right out of the box, whether that requires a Metaforce charge or not. Now with his tune-up treatments, Baizan basically, much like Benimaru, takes what he has and makes himself even more of a threat on the field, and essentially, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and making himself even more of a threat than before. His head has access to plus 200 to power, plus 50 to cool, and a damage plus bonus that gives him an extra bonus 30% damage when triggering pierce damage. Now, much akin to anyone else with basic sword who gets this skill, that is absolutely going to be a must-have, as that's basically a bonus and a congratulations for dealing more damage than necessary that the foe actually takes it as a punish, so you deal more damage or even break something else on top of that. That being said, the damage plus bonus and the bonus to power at 200 are definitely going to be your big go-tos on that one to go for. His right arm and left arm have access to the same CG reduction of -20%, which is absolutely going to be a huge must-have and easy go-to, as this means that within one charge, or even just a couple, you can access higher damage bonuses very, very easily and make Baizan even more of a threat quicker on the field before anyone has a chance to cut him down. His right arm, however, has access to plus 500 to armor and plus 400 to power. Now, easily you could go armor or power very simply and not really go wrong, but 400 to power is definitely going to be noticeable, even if it's just a regular base hit and not not even with any Metaforce bonuses on top of that. Whereas with his left arm, he has access to plus 500 as well, but instead has access to plus 150 to cool. Now, normally in some cases where power may not be necessary, I tend to divert to armor as the next best upgrade. But for something like Beam Sword, you definitely want to try to cool down as often as possible, because you definitely have some very notable penalties in your cooldown phase after you use it. So while again, you could very easily go armor or cool for your remaining points, I'd say that the best bonus here would definitely go to his cooldown in this phase, because that means he can use it faster after cooling down. His legs have access to plus 500 to armor, plus 200 to evade, plus 200 to mobility, and also has access to S rank on prairie and arena terrains, much like his twin. And also much like his twin, I'd honestly say you could forego the terrain bonuses because, being completely honest, the extra 10% you'd get from that really isn't all that noticeable, and so it's as something you could really just forget, because 10% really won't make or break you. However, with his other 3 bonuses, there are a lot of very good possibilities here that you could go for. Armor, if you decide you want to make him just a little bit tankier than most, as much like his twin, one of his resist stats is very notably low, and he will take a lot of punish damage from it. Evade and mobility at plus 200, very, very obvious and very notable bonuses that you can see going live once they are active. And easily put, I would honestly have to say the mobility bonus is the absolute must-have of the bonuses he has on his legs. After that, you could honestly go for armor, you could go for evade, and really not go wrong because his performance on the field really won't change all that much based on how you choose to go after it. That being said, rounding him out, his old pure set and mixed parts scores, I had him rated at about a 7 and an 8 out of 10 respectively, because he had a very high damage bonus potential and was also very well rounded for what he offered, in contrast to his twin, who was a little more situational at the time of original grading. Now, taking his tune-up bonuses into effect, I would have to grade him much higher easily at an 8 out of 10 for his pure set score, and as a 9 out of 10 for his mixed parts score, because his parts are still very good, very conventional, and can be very dangerous on the field once you get those damage bonuses into effect. Or, even for the case of his head, really doesn't even need a damage bonus and is something you can use right out of the box. And if you include his the bonus to his leg's mobility, this means he will have a much easier time not just outrunning opponents, but pairing it with through fight means he'll have an even easier time bypassing and slipping by any enemy guards to attack exactly who he wants, completely unhindered and unblocked.